majority of poor people that trocaire works with live in rural areas, and 75% of the world's poor are dependent upon agricultural related livelihoods for their living. A majority of farmers that we do work with and who are poor farmers are women. Many of those are producing for basic household needs, so that means that they're producing food merely to feed their own families. This is what's called subsistence type living. Others are working to produce a small surplus, and these we also support in building their productive capacity to produce small amounts of foodstuffs for sale so that they can generate income from trading those on markets.
The majority of people that trocaire work with live in very rural, remote areas. Their houses are usually made of mud or bricks, and very often with straw roofs, or sometimes better off people will have iron sheet roofs. In general, they might have a very small home, and their cooking and washing is done outside the home. The villages and where they live lack basic amenities. Most of the time schools, hospitals, markets and even roads would be a very long distance from where these villages are located. Today, 1 in 6 people globally are living in hunger. That's 1.2 billion people worldwide who don't have enough food to eat every day.
To access the market, men and women have to walk very far. This makes it difficult for the produce to arrive fresh at the market and in good condition.
Some of the obstacles that farmers in Nicaragua experience to take their products and sell their products are, for example, the lack of infrastructure or bad roads. People cannot take their products timely, because of lack of transport.
Often, the poorest farmers that we work with are to be found in the most remote areas, distant from markets. And this is a disadvantage in its own right. Because of the distance from markets, there are very few traders to offer them a price. So they tend to accept the first price that's actually offered to them. Often this person is called a briefcase trader.
One of the obstacles that farmers in Nicaragua experience in order to sell their products and have good prices, fair prices for their products, are, for example, the lack of organization. Farmers usually have to sell individually to intermediaries.
At the worst time possible, rather than those that perhaps are closer to market and are also organised into a farmers group or farmers association. If they're involved in a farmers association, then they're likely to get a higher price for their produce. This is because they're able to store some of their product and sell it in stages. So as scarcity emerges post-harvest, the price increases, and at that time they're able to sell in stages and earn the benefits of higher prices the further away from the harvest time.
To address these difficulties, Octopan is looking to provide opportunities to small farmers to sell their produce. One example is setting up a farmers' market, which mostly benefits women.
We have a green market in Palacuaina, which a donor has helped us set up. There, we sell our produce on Saturdays and Sundays.
One of the ways that trocaire helps farmers to sell their products and get fair prices is organizing fair markets for them, helping them to bring their products and directly contact the consumers, reducing intermediation and increasing their profits. Also, they have to compete with cheap products coming from overseas, other countries. So they have to sell their products at low prices, or they cannot sell because they cannot compete with them.
Chickens are an important source of income for small farmers throughout the developing world. However, the factory-type farming with chicken products being produced in intensive type conditions in Latin America and also Europe has meant that a large number of the chicken parts are finding their way to the poorer countries of West Africa. They are sold there in poor hygienic conditions, but at prices which are undermining the price which the local producer can compete with. As a result, the local chicken farming has gone into deep recession, whereas the profits are being generated by large international multinational companies based in either Latin America or in Europe.
Because of the free trade agreement with the United States, products are being dumped on the local market. This means that farmers are getting a lower price for their product and are consequently earning less income.
Without being able to sell the extra produce small farmers have, they won't have enough income or food to last them through the leaner months, the hungry period as it's often called in developing countries. Families have to reduce the amount of food they eat. Maybe a mother will only have 1 meal a day instead of 2 meals, and all of these things lead to malnourishment.
The advantage of having our own markets is not to sell to the intermediaries, because what they do is give you half the price for the crop we can sell better ourselves. For example, they would give us 300 Cordobas for a box of tomatoes when we can sell them directly for 600 Cordobas.